Hello everyone and welcome to the new Reborn Roleplay MDT guys. Today we're just going to be exploring the new MDT since it has changed. For starters, you can access it by going onto your radial menu, so Z, G, whatever it is for you, and then you can go to Police Actions and MDT. You'll then be greeted with this pop screen, or you can access it by doing /MDT. And this will pop up as well. You can also, if that's not working correctly, you can do /MDT _reset _sources, and that will completely reset your MDT. And if it's bugging out or anything like that, moving on, back in MDT now. On here, on civilian search, as you can see here, it says name, CSN, licenses, marker info, actions. Obviously that's the name, and you'll find the CSN there. If you highlight this, it'll pop up with any sort of licenses. So for here you can see Brad Armstrong has a weapons license and a hunting license along with a driver's license. On marker info, you can see there's a marker placed on Mr. Mike Owens, and you can read what it's for, and you can also click this eye and this will view the person's profile. So this is their whole MDT profile. On here you can see profile info. This will show obviously CSN, date of birth, and a gender. Moving on to licenses, obviously you can see what sort of license they have, and you can click the if it's a driving license, you can click add points. On here you can type in how many points, so let's say for example 3, and then in reasons for points you'll write the reason. So for example speeding, you'll put a date, so 12th of the 7th 2024, so we'll do 12th of the 8th because that's today. 12th of the 8th. Time, we'll say 1300 hours. And location, Legion Square, and then you'll sign it. So you'll do your rank in brackets, so mine is DC, B Parker, and then call sign, and click save, and that'll tally up. You can also view their license info, so any sort of things on their license, any current points, etc. Moving on, markers. If you click the plus button on marker type, you can see that it pops up with these. So you have your arrest warrant. So all of these, it'll pop up with a description at the bottom and a related incident. So if your arrest warrant, bail conditions, BOLO, so be on the lookout for someone, cautionary alert, and your organised crime. All these, you fill in the description, fill in the related incidents, and they're going. Moving on, you've got your internal notes. This is literally just a note that gets put on their system for further reference. So for example, we can put speeding, given 3 points for speeding, and 12th of the 8th 2024 at 1300 hours. You save that, and you can pop it down. You also delete it here, so remove, and then pop up confirm. On digital references, this is where your fingerprints, DNA references, and your phone number. You can put a phone number on there as well. So for example, you can press the plus reference type and it'll pop up with DNA, fingerprint, etc. So we'll go on, we'll find someone with a fingerprint. So let's say Chubbs Lewis. see on here Chubbs has DNA, which can be searched directly into the MDT and a pop up with his profile, along with fingerprints, which we'll show you how to process in a further video or during training, etc. Obviously, they can all be removed with the red button. Allies and affiliations. If you click this button here, you can add an ally. So anyone there friendly with, they work with, etc. So obviously, then you click save, and that'll pop up there, along with affiliations. So are they in any OCGs? Are they in any? They work for anyone? Are they, whoever they're affiliated with? And then now photos. So photos, you have to put a link into it, and the way you get a link for any sort of photos or anything is in the Discord. So if you go to the Discord, in here, if you do /upload, it'll pop this. You can click it, and for example, I want this photo as it. On here, I'll enter it. You can do this in any channel where you have access to type in, and it'll pop up with a link that only you can see. So if you copy that link, Control C, and then you go back to the thing, paste that in, and you click save. You can now see it in the photos. Obviously, this is the usually you put photos of them, but this is the first photo that popped up. Obviously, this is now the photo of them, quote unquote, but it can be deleted by clicking delete photo and then confirm, and then that will completely wipe. Now down here, got vehicles, so you can search for any sort of place that they have access to, and there's their vehicle. Obviously, we'll show the plate, the model, and then the actions, which is coming soon. Obviously, on here we'll show the plate, Dodge, and soon. And then here's the pages again, where you can switch page, etc. Down here, you've got their instance. So it's any sort of incident that they are involved in, either suspect, obviously officer, lawyer, medical, etc. On here, for example, you can see this 8180. You can see that it says tags, and obviously this is the arrest report. So these tags show what type of MDT is, and you click the eye and it'll open up the MDT, the whole incident, tags, suspects, officers, etc. Each different type of involvement has its own section. And you click the X to get back. Properties, this will show any sort of house they own, any sort of, it says in the name, properties, anything they own, i.e. house, apartment, flat, anything. And obviously any weapons that they have connected to them, i.e. serial numbers, firearms, etc. Now if you go and click the X and close that down, and we'll move on. Vehicle searches. On here you can search for any sort of plate, so if a vehicle's found and the VIN number's secured from that vehicle, you can search it in here. So YT, let's for example, pull up with any thing that has YT in it. So for example, that one. So search that plate, and obviously once again we already knew, but it'll pop up with the model, the owner, plate, and once again actions. If you click this eye, it'll take you directly to the owner's MDT page, where you can obviously see any sort of markers or license they have, etc. Moving on now. Weapon search. At this current time, there isn't any known weapons on the MDT, but if you were to ever find a weapon or any sort of bullet casing and it had a serial number with it, you'd search it in here, and it would pop up here if it's on the MDT. Obviously, serial number, who the owner is, what weapon it is, what store they got it from, and the date they purchased on, and obviously an I to go to their profile. Now, moving on to instant searches. So, for example, we've got obviously search here, so you can search in any sort of MDT, any title. So if I wanted to search in assault, with all of them with the word assault in the title, so that's how you search from. Obviously, title, and it's the title of the MDT, any sort of tags that are on it, the date it was created, and you can obviously change these by order, and obviously upload date along with an I to view the whole MDT. Once again, it takes us to this page. So if we go and put this back to normal, there we go. Right, now what we can do is we can press the arrows, and that will refresh the whole MDT in case anything has changed. Moving on to the create instance. So if you press the plus, you'll be brought to this page. Obviously it'll be blank at the time. Obviously this is the title. So in the title, what you do, you follow the templates, which you can obviously view here by clicking insert template. A standard format template is what you want for a normal arrest warrant. Discharge report we'll get on to in a minute. Standard format template, if you click that, it seems to be working. Insert, there we go. So you want to follow this template. So for example, possession, the incident number is down here. That was the incident ID which we searched for from wherever. On here you'll do the possession, the incident number, possession of a bladed article, and then you do the date. So we'll do once again today and 2024 at, I'll do 1200 hours, 1250. So that's your title done. Now moving on to the actual incident itself. Obviously this is already on here. Get rid of this for the time being, as you know we won't. On here, it's just like a normal Word document. So if you highlight something, you can bold it by pressing the B. You can put it in italics, obviously tilt it by pressing the I like you can on Word. And once again, underline it using the U. You can cross out by pressing that there. And then you can quote something by using these. Obviously, unquote it, you can get back to there now, and we'll just refresh this now. Then on here, you can switch it and put it into like that. Obviously, take that off and it'll put it back to normal. You can then do numbers. You have 1, so type something, enter, and it'll pop up with a number 2, so on and so forth. Blah blah blah. Then you can do bullet points by pressing here, and I'll bullet point it. So enter, after typing it, I'll bullet point again. Then you can send it to the left of the page, obviously, and you can move along. So that's like tapping. Move it along the page, move it obviously back. You can change the type of size you're doing. So heading 1 obviously goes bigger, and the bigger the number, the smaller it is. That's how I've always learned it. So for example, heading 6, very small compared to heading 1 where it's huge. Then you can change the colour of the text by pressing the little A with a line under it, change it, and that'll change the text. And then you can change the background of the text by pressing the A with the square around it, and I'll just highlight it. Anything that needs, standing out. Then you can obviously change the font. There's a few fonts on here, obviously depending on what you find best and what looks best for the MDT. You can then change the alignment, so obviously that puts it far left, that one's middle, far right, and that just puts it normal and flat. Move on. If you do, I don't know how these entirely work at the moment because they're a bit off, but tags. The tags obviously are already on here, so there's kind of self-explanatory. Active warrant is if you write up on someone that's got away, for example, been assisted and has been drove off and you've lost them, or you've lost them in a pursuit. Active investigation obviously says on the tin, it's actively being investigated. If it's an arrest report, obviously, and you've sentenced them, put arrest report, citation, obviously, fining, warning, etc. A discharge report. So discharge reports are for firearms. If any sort of firearms are discharged, then it'll go down as that. And PCO checklist, if you're a PCSO and you're doing the MDT for your checklist, you add that, and then it can be found quickly compared to having these on it and not having that. Moving on, involvement. So if you click the add involvement, for example, search myself, add. So in here, search CSN, a role, you can choose what I am. So for example, I'm an officer. So in notes, you can put any sort of thing. So let's say I saw something happen. I don't know, running back to my vehicle when Mr. Chubbs Lewis rammed into an officer's vehicle and flew through the windscreen. Just for example, like that. Let's say I wasn't on here and put my name down. If something's in the notes also, and you save it and it's in the notes, press the X, it'll pop with involvement and it'll say it has notes, and then you can just click the pen and you can see the notes, and obviously bin, remove it. Add again. Let's go Mr. Terry Mottram. Obviously it shows the same as what we saw in civilian lookup markers. Add action. So on here, let's say Mr. Terry Mottram was arrested. Click suspect. Then in the notes you can say suspect complied throughout sentencing. So therefore the charge, time and fine was dropped slightly. And then down here it shows crimes. So if you add crime on here, it shows crimes, obviously fines, so any sort of what the fine is for that specific crime, what the jail time is if you get arrested for it, and obviously it'll show you there again if it's a aggravated version of this, and it will show you a time and a different month. So usually it doubles it and adds a bit on. Actions, so you can select the crime and then obviously it shows up here. If you select aggravated, it will boost the time. If you obviously unselect it, it won't. Count, leave it as 1 throughout, and obviously the bin removes it. So let's add one of them back. Down here, suggested fine, so it'll show what the fine is for that specific crime committed. So obviously that can be changed, but stick somewhere around them, and obviously same with charge, same with time. Obviously aggravated, once again it'll boost it and raise it somewhat. Down here it says plea. Here it is obviously when they're being sentenced. So convicted on trial, if they get caught and they, for example, get charged with it by the judge, you just basically make that aware. If they plead guilty, it will drop the time and the fine by a certain amount, and non-contest. So basically, if they just accept it but they don't want to plead guilty, then they it will stay the same. Obviously, plain ticket. So you'll put in whatever their ID is, and then you'll click the check mark. Once that's checked, and that'll then send them to prison, and this will come up with a tick. If you come out with that, obviously once again on here now it says suspect has not been processed. Obviously you can go back in here and process them at any time, and once again bin. So now what we'll have a look at is open evidence locker. So we need to be in the evidence locker for that, which I will go to now. So the evidence locker is upstairs in the police station, and it's over here in this whole room. So if we go back onto the MDT now, and we go to that one, open evidence, it will open the actual evidence locker for this whole crime, where it basically saves it, and you can put any sort of evidence. So for example, if I found, I don't know, a taser on someone, put that in there. Once again, in here you can put you follow the incident report as you normally would have, and all the data, put all the information in here. And at the bottom we can put in that link, and then next to it, before it, you can put car on scene after arrest, and then that can be located by anyone who looks at the MDT just to find some sort of evidence on it. Moving on, audit logs. So audit logs, it'll show any sort of changes or what's happened on the MDT in just this MDT and just my MDT. Moving on, crime management. So this is basically just where you search for any sort of crime. So like it says there, searching theft, pop up with all the thefts, and it will obviously show the actual crime, the fine, jail time, the modifiers. So if it was aggravated theft of an emergency vehicle, it'll show you the time change. So obviously double in time and a half, and actions is soon to be updated where there'll be different actions on there. X, and I'll get rid of them. You can't add crimes unless you're higher in the city. And then finally onto the Reborn Roleplay. This is basically just a website of, well, obviously it's a website of the whole city. Link to Discord. Home obviously takes you here. About takes you down here. Shows you the paragraph about Reborn. Moves on. Team shows some of the stuff. Streamers, you can see all the streamers here who are who have been put on the website. Applications doesn't seem to be loading. I don't think anything's on there. Gallery shows pictures of the city, whether it be recent, old ones, etc. Suggestions doesn't load. And rules, you can find all the rules here. with city rules, etc. All of them are here if you ever need to just question something, etc. But don't be using this correctly, and then this will just basically pop up with all the stuff. So if you go back to that additional links, Reborn has root. So this is the streamer page. It just shows you streaming. Nothing too important to do with PD. Store, once again, self-explanatory, takes you to the store, and then status, and it will show you the whole status of the server and the city. Login, it's a bit dodgy at the moment, and you can change to night mode, light mode, etc. Anyways, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask within City or in emails. But I've been Billy Parker, and have a wonderful day.